Now, with rocketing house prices and a chronic shortage of affordable homes, there are growing calls for drastic action to be taken to solve the capital's housing crisis. All this week, we'll be looking at some of the more radical solutions. Today, in the first of our Home Truth series, Sam Bowman from the think tank the Adam Smith Institute puts the controversial case for building hundreds of thousands of new homes on London's Greenbelt.
I'm 26 years old. I moved over here 5 years ago to study for a master's degree, and I got a job after I finished that. I have rented for my entire time, and I am pretty sure I will always have to rent for as long as I live in London, because there is no way I will ever earn the kind of money that I need to get a house. Housing prices are rising across the board by an unbelievable amount, and the reason for this is that I think that we have very, very strict controls on where you can build and how you can build and what you can build, and that means that the supply of housing can't rise to meet the demand for housing.
Building within London is fine, but building in London gives you things like high-density homes that don't have gardens, that aren't near green space, and really a lot of people don't want to live in places like that. So what I think we should do is roll back the green belt around London, make it easier to build on this land, this agricultural land, so that we can build outwards and have lower density housing. That means gardens, parks, bigger homes, and cheaper homes for everybody, in order to give people that space to live. It doesn't mean throwing away the green belt, it doesn't mean getting rid of all of this agricultural land, it just means building on a little bit of it. I've come to Hartsmere, which is 80% green belt. It's just 12 miles away from central London, and it's still within the M25. And here I've met Anne, who spent many years of her life campaigning to protect the green belt, so that we could talk about why it is that she and I disagree about building on green belt land.
Well, green belt is very important. We need green spaces for recreation purposes and to make a demarcation between the settlements.
If you wanted to come up with a compromise that made maybe nobody happy, but kind of sort of was in the middle of people like me who want to build on the Greenbelt and people like you who don't want to build on the Greenbelt, what kind of compromise would you suggest?
Well, the compromise I've suggested, gradual enlargement of existing settlements in some Greenbelt, saving as much as possible, with minimal sacrifice of our lovely green
hopefully
open
protect
spaces.
Places like this, yeah.
You only have to look at the English countryside. It is so pretty, it really is.
Meeting Anne really helped me understand why people are so attached to the Greenbelt and fight so hard to protect it. But it made me think that maybe if we stop thinking of the Greenbelt as one single unit and differentiate between the areas of beauty like this and the intensive farmland that really constitutes a lot of the Greenbelt, then it'd be easier for us to come to a compromise and protect places like this while growing over places that aren't really very valuable.
And we'd like to get your thoughts on this story and the others we'll be featuring over the course of the next week. You can send us an email to yourlondon@bbc.co.uk or join in with the conversation on Twitter.